welcome everyone to this vlog from Robin Ian's Back to the Theatre. It's about a subject that is very close to my heart, which is ABBA. Now, I've been a huge ABBA fan all my life. I remember watching them win the Eurovision when I was about 8 years old, because we all did then. We sat in front of the telly as a family and watched the Eurovision, and little did I think this catchy winning number, Waterloo, would lead to a lifelong love of ABBA and all their music. Yeah, but there was one side of ABBA that is a byproduct, and when they finished as a recording group in 1982, the rest of the 1980s were pretty fallow ABBA-wise because their music was seen as old hat. But by the early 90s, there was a real resurgence. Erasure had done a 4-track EP called ABBA-esque, and ABBA Gold was released on the back of that. Pretty much a sensation, and ABBA was suddenly back. Now, what this led to was a series of ABBA tribute bands, which started in the early 1990s and continued to this day. And I kind of have made a list of some of them, and we've got The Real ABBA Gold, Rival, Revival, Sweet Dreams, ABBA's Angels, 21st Century ABBA, Abbacadabra, ABBA Mania, Dancing Queen, Dancing Dreams, The Fabba Show, Super Trooper, Thank ABBA for the Music, ABBA Salute, Kiss the Teacher, ABBAlicious, Waterloo, SOS. It goes on and on and on. So many ABBA tribute groups now. It is a real industry, and I've seen quite a few over the years, ranging from the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some of them have been absolutely amazing, and others, quite frankly, very disappointing, and clearly a money-making exercise from a group of people who've got some wigs and some costumes and think, oh, we'll make some money from ABBA. So yeah, I've pretty much seen it all, and what I thought I'd do is just go through a few of the recordings that I've found. Now, this one, there is a band called ABBA Revival now, but these recordings that were done in Germany by the so-called ABBA Revival band, I'm not actually sure is the live group. I think this may be some session musicians that call themselves the ABBA Revival band. So I'm not sure this is a bona fide ABBA group recording, ABBA tribute group recording. There was a band, or is a band, called The Real ABBA Gold, and there was a number of CDs by The Real ABBA Gold. 3 of them, I think, re-released many times, many different covers. Not too bad, to be honest. I mean, these, I'm not even going to play these because they're not very good. But The Real ABBA Gold, let's have a listen to The Real ABBA Gold and see what we think of their recording. Well, passable, but not fantastic. But there's better to come. Now, one of the first I saw was this one. This is ABBA, Voulez-Vous Le Tour, it says there. And the group Voulez-Vous were a Yorkshire group, as I recall, and they were very big on the ABBA tribute scene at one time. I think there was a husband and wife, and I think maybe cousins. It was a family outfit anyway, and they put on a cracking show. And I always used to love the fact they opened with The Visitors, because everybody was kind of into ABBA Gold and all the tracks on there. But for me, digging a little bit deeper into the ABBA catalogue was really welcome. And when I saw the beginning of their show, it was The Visitors, I loved it. Terrific. Now, they released, I think, 3 CDs. I lost 2 of them in a house move, but I have retained the original Volume 1, Voulez-Vous Revival. And so I thought I'd just play you a little of the Voulez-Vous track itself, because I think they're really good. Have a listen to this. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Now, we go to Sweden. Now, Sweden has its own ABBA tribute groups, of course. This is ABBA Arrival. Now, there is a British tribute band, Arrival, and there is a Swedish tribute band, Arrival, and this is the Swedish band. And they released this CD, First Flight, in 1999, as I recall. And what's special about this is it features the first recorded version of, well, full version of Just a Notion, the track that just cropped up on the ABBA Voyage CD in 2021. It was originally an ABBA demo, and they completed it 40 years later to put on the Voyage CD. But ABBA Arrival were the first to record this in full in 1999, and it's a CD full of a lot of earlier ABBA tracks, actually. What About Livingston, Watch Out, Here's Your Brother, Hey Hey Helen, all fabulous tracks, not that well known outside of the ABBA faithful, but potential tunes to go into Mamma Mia 3 if and when that happens. But let's have a little snatch of their version of I've Been Waiting for You. Again, a lovely recording. Really like it. I would really like to see ABBA Arrival, the Swedish ABBA Arrival, and I'll put it on my bucket list. Now, we're coming to the nitty-gritty now, because we've got the granddaddy of all ABBA tribute acts, and that is, of course, Australia's Björn Again. Probably the most famous of all the ABBA tribute groups, one of the earliest and one of the most famous. They started in 1989 in Australia and quickly moved to the UK in the early 90s. I saw them in that very early period and have continued to see them over the years. The lineups have changed, but they've always been absolutely fantastic. The first recording I had was this one, the Björn Again live album, which was recorded at the Town and Country Club in London, I think. And it's a proper rock show. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun in these recordings. And then they progressed from there to an album called Björn Again Flashback. Now, Flashback included their covers of 70s songs in the style that they imagined ABBA might have done them, if that makes sense to you. But what they did was, with Erasure having recorded the ABBA-esque EP, and that was huge, as they released their own double-A-sided single called Erasure-ish, and it featured two songs, which was Stop and A Little Respect. Now, A Little Respect and Stop got in the charts. Yes, they did, in the actual charts. And I think they reached something like number 26 or something like that. But yeah, very impressive for an ABBA tribute to get into the charts. So let's have a little glimpse of the original Björn Again on Top of the Pops doing A Little Respect.
Make love not far, and live at peace with our heart.
And their third album was both an album and a VHS release. Do you remember that? VHS. And it's Björn Again at the Royal Albert Hall. A big concert. Of course, ABBA themselves played the Royal Albert Hall in 1977 on their tour. So this is kind of a homecoming of sorts. And fabulous show. Really good fun. Again, a proper rock show. They do rock out Björn Again. Now, what's interesting about that is that that particular lineup of Björn Again are now appearing as a different ABBA tribute act called 1974. So they were probably the longest running of all the Björn Again lineups, and they are absolutely brilliant. So I really want to see 1974 if I can get to see a show, because I know I'll have a lot of fun there. Now, you'd have thought that with the emergence of ABBA Live at Wembley Arena, the CD that was issued in 2014, I could throw away my live albums of Björn Again because I've got the real ABBA there. Well, yes and no, because this is a fabulous record of their concerts at Wembley Arena. Sound-wise, it's not fantastic. It does, of course, have the vocals of Frida and Agneta, the two greatest voices in pop. But that aside, it feels like a showcase. Like it's weird. There's not a lot of fun about it. It feels like a group who've been forced to tour, in my opinion. Even though the vocals are amazing, there's not a lot of fun about this. A great record of what happened on the night there, but the ABBA tribute groups bring a lot of fun to the proceedings, and that's what I particularly want to do. I want to party. So, but where's Ian? I hear you say, well, this is a bit like Where's Wally, only a 6'3" skinny version. Let's cut to Ian Camp. I've found Ian. He's here.
Hi.
Hi. And I'm just going to have a word with Ian about ABBA, because as you know, I'm a massive ABBA fan, have been all my life. And in the time that me and Ian have been seeing each other, I've kidnapped him and I've taken him, within a few short weeks, I've taken him to ABBA Voyage in London, Mamma Mia, the musical, the touring version. And we even went to see the ABBA related play, the way Old Friends do at the Birmingham Rep. So he's kind of awash with ABBA at the moment. And we've got a couple of ABBA tribute acts that we're going to see later in the year anyway. So I wanted to ask you, Ian, having been kidnapped and ABBA-fied, firstly, what are your favourite ABBA songs then?
Well, my favourite one is Angel Eyes, followed by Super Trooper.
Yeah.
My third, I'm torn between I Do, I Do, I Do.
Oh, that's a good song.
Very good. And Honey, Honey. But also you could throw Dancing Queen in there as well.
Well, everybody loves Dancing Queen.
Well, yeah, that's why I've not really put that there.
And what do you think because have you seen any ABBA tribute bands so far?
Not tribute bands, no.
No. Well, what would you think would be the most important thing if you booked to see an ABBA tribute band? Is it the costumes that are most important? Is it the voices? Is it the overall band and sound? What do you think is the most important thing for ABBA tribute?
It's a mixture of everything, really. The costumes obviously are a big part of it, because ABBA were amazing with their costumes. The voices have to be good. It's no use going to see an ABBA tribute act and you get a Scottish guy singing, is it?
Yeah. No, and that's the thing about ABBA tribute groups, because Frida and Agneta had such amazing voices with such range in them, that to be in an ABBA tribute band, you've got to have a good voice, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. That's probably the main thing, will be the voice.
Yeah.
The band, it depends, because sometimes they play to backing tracks, which I don't like anyway.
Yeah, no.
I'd rather be a live band.
We love a live band.
Yes, I'd rather be there with a live band. But again, that doesn't always matter. As long as the costumes and the voices are good, I can cope with it being a backing track sometimes.
And of the ABBA-related things that I've taken you to, what has been your favourite so far?
My favourite has been ABBA Voyage, because I thought how they did that was amazing. If nobody's been to see it and you get a chance before it goes from London, go and see it, because it is really, really good. Followed by Mamma Mia. Everyone loves that. Again, if you've not seen that, it does do a tour. I think it's currently doing a tour, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's constantly touring.
Yeah, they're constantly touring. So again, if you've not seen it, get a chance to go and see it. And then, as The Way Old Friends Do was very, very good. Very comedy act. If you've seen the video that myself and Rob put on, that goes into a bit more depth of what that's all about.
Yeah, we've got 2 ABBA tribute groups already lined up for later in the year, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
So there is no respite for you from ABBA.
It's a good job I like them.
But I tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to review the new CD by Ireland's ABBA tribute band, the Björn Identity. So stay tuned. Ian's dashing off, and I'll talk to you about the Björn Identity very soon. Which kind of brings me up to date now, because there is a fairly newish CD out by the Irish ABBA tribute act, the Björn Identity. There we go, the Björn Identity, live at the Marketplace Theatre in Armagh. Now, I was pleasantly surprised by this album, because I'd had those Björn Again albums, those live albums, playing in my car for years. And I thought, well, this is probably the pinnacle of quality of ABBA tribute acts. But now they have a rival, because this is really terrific stuff. Now, the Björn Identity consists of Karen Rush, who is Agneta, her husband Richard Doubleday, who is Björn. Now, on this CD, we have Diana Nesbitt as Frida, but she's now been replaced by Sophie Greer. And Ryan Greer is Benny on the keyboards. And now, it doesn't say on this CD about any overdubs, because live albums are not necessarily always totally live. They go into the studio and overdub bits. But if this is a genuine representation of their live sound, it is brilliant. Quite brilliant. So to give you a taste of them, let's take a look at a clip of the Björn Identity giving their Summer Night City.
The sun might be like sleeping, I can't take it for too long. My impatience slowly creeping up my spine and grown strong. I know what's waiting there for me. Tonight I'm loose and fancy free.
There's a great set list on here. I'm not so keen on the in general about medleys being bunged into a show. I like to hear the full song, but there's a couple of medleys, and they work really well, actually. The set list is great, ranging from The Stuff You Expect to I Do, I Do, I Do, Why Did It Have to Be Me, a lovely version of Slipping Through My Fingers, omitting the instrumental break. I see you, Björn Identity. Put that break back in. And yeah, we've got Super Trooper, yeah, or what we say, Rock Me. I love Rock Me. Thank You for the Music. Yeah. So Long, Angel Eyes. That's becoming more and more popular as an ABBA track since its inclusion in Mamma Mia 2, and it is a greatly underrated track. And I was really, really pleasantly surprised. It's been playing non-stop in my car. Again, it really rocks out. They have pinched a few little bits and pieces from Björn Again. It's clear that they've dipped into the Björn Again pool a couple of times. But yeah, and Karen Rush's Agneta, she's particularly studied the way the real Agneta phrases her lyrics and a voice, and yeah, it's really is a faithful tribute act. Two great voices on here. And I'm really, really pleased. And I recommend it, the Björn Identity. They've got a website. Go to them, the Björn Identity. You won't regret. Oh, by the way, you can also download it on Amazon and iTunes and those sort of places, or stream it even if you're a streamer. Yeah. So, but do pop in, because I think it's a really excellent album with great musicianship, some fantastic keyboards from Ryan Greer, some live keyboards, really, really good. So top marks for this, guys. Keep on. Come to the UK. A lot of your concerts are in Germany and Ireland, but I would like to see you in mainland UK, so I can come and see you and just show my support. But yeah, I really do like this. I wanted to perhaps finish with the Björn Identity with a track that is not on this CD, but is absolutely wonderful. It's their version of Don't Shut Me Down, a modern ABBA classic. So little stroll through my little collection of ABBA tribute group recordings, and I'm sure there will be many more ABBA tribute groups to come, and I enjoy them all. I'm going in over the summer. We are going to see ABBA Reunion, and in the autumn Björn again, the latest lineup, Björn again. And there's also 21st Century ABBA and Revival in the offing that are appearing locally. So I think I'm going to go check those out as well. But we'll be back with more theatre stuff. But in the meantime, don't shut me down.
A while ago, I heard the sound of children's laughter. Now it's quiet, so I guess I left the park. This wooden bench is getting harder by the hour. The sun is going down, it's getting dark. I realized I'm cold. The rain begins to pour as I watch the windows of the second floor. The lights are on, it's time to go. It's time at last to let him know. Fair to say you look bewildered, and I wonder why I'm here today, and so you should, I would. When I've left my back, I've had enough, but in the shape and form I appear now. I have learned to cope, and I have learned to cope, and love and hope is why I am here now.
Thank you.